What's up, and welcome in to the West Bros Experience. Good morning. I'm Bob West.
I'm Colby West, and today we're going to talk about how to fall in love with losing.
Wait, losing?
How to fall in love with losing.
We want to win. Why would we want to fall in love with losing?
Let me tell you right now.
All right.
Even the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, catches a loss, holds the L once in a while. Isn't always eating W's like Jameis. He said, you either win or you learn. He said that after getting absolutely trounced in Baltimore this year. And his team came on, won a couple games in a row, caught another loss. And you bet you can guarantee they're in their locker room trying to grow, trying to learn.
Back to learning. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, that's huge. Turning every result into a good result. What we're talking about as salespeople, as entrepreneurs, you get a lot of L's out there. You get a lot of no's, especially if you're trying as much as you should be. And so kind of first figuring out, how to get less of those L's.
Yep.
But also figuring out what you can learn from each one of those, I think is absolutely huge. So that's what we want to get into today is first of all, what can be learned from each and every loss?
Yeah, each and every loss is a little bit different. You've got to have the perspective. You absolutely have to have the perspective of, I'm going to go in here and either win or learn. Either one is totally fine. And you have to be okay with losing sometimes. And if I'm in solar sales, I'm knocking doors, door to door, making cold calls. I've got to be okay with no. But then I have to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, what could I have done differently? Maybe I didn't listen as well as I could have.
Right.
Or maybe I didn't,
Well, yeah, that's the important part is figuring out, okay, you're going to deal with losses, but now how can I deal with fewer and fewer of them? And that means making yourself better. Yourself as a salesperson, as an entrepreneur, whatever it is that you're selling, it means making yourself better. So figuring out from each loss, what are the ways that you can get better? I like one of my mentors out there in real estate is Ricky Carruth, and he's all into cold calling. That's what he does nonstop, all day, every day, and he's one of the best at it. And over time, he's used every loss to basically perfect his script and his delivery to where now he's an absolute pro and he teaches other people how to do the exact same thing. So he took every loss, adjusted the script, figured it out, moved forward, became even better. So as we move further and further into this episode, I guess we want to talk about, the different cases of, when you're going to face those L's. And Gary Vee talks about this important concept, and maybe we can get into this, is he says you got to lean into what you love.
Yeah.
It gets easier to deal with losses and even encouraging dealing with losses when you're doing something that you love.
Yep. And even if it's not full-time, you're doing something, say you've got to do something, you might hate it. You might hate your 9 to 5, but you've got to take a step back from everything and realize why you're doing your 9 to 5. Is it to pay your bills? Is it to pay your mortgage? Is it to pay off your car? Like, you've got to be okay and accept that L and learn from it. Say, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. That's kind of the realization I came to personally. So I made that change, and it's really, for me, it was getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, and getting over that fear of failure is a thing a lot of people have trouble with.
That's huge. That's huge. No matter what you're doing, if you're doing something you love, if you're doing something you hate, if you can, get over that, like especially doing something you love, you can jump right in, get involved, and a lot of people let that fear of failure hold them back. Or another way people let that fear of failure hold them back is through trying to be perfect, through perfectionism, right? That's just another form of the fear of failure. You're convinced that your first attempt isn't going to be perfect, so you don't even make the attempt. And that's really, I think that's the key to this episode. And I'll let you say it. It's basically, trying to learn. But what's the biggest key you want people to take away from this?
Biggest key is don't be scared to try something new. Be okay with failure, and take it as a lesson. You want to talk to more people. You want to do more sales. Be okay with losing and not getting those sales. But just trying different things. Have that macro vision, but take micro action. Gary Vee says that all the time. It's like you should be constantly acting to make yourself into a better human, and so you can live a better life and the one you want to live, financially free, what have you.
I like it.
But it's always, always, always committing yourself in that vision and taking that action that you know is necessary.
I love it. Yeah, because the biggest loss is not trying.
Yep.
It's finding something that you want to do, or really it's seeing somebody doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're capable if you just dug way deep and not trying. That's the biggest form of failure out there, and I think that's the one that causes that regret in that thing where you look back, maybe not now, but maybe when you're older in your life, you look back and there's things that you wish you would have tried. So figure out what you love, figure out your why and what motivates you, and then start taking actions. Like Colby was just talking about, you avoid the fear of failure by just going quickly. And this is another Gary Vee concept of just the speed of your decisions, the speed of your actions needs to be so much faster.
Yep.
He talks about this concept of the number of at-bats. He says by the amount of posts, by the amount of speeches that he gives, the amount of production basically, is he's giving himself so many more at-bats than other people. It's basically like if you sent Tom Brady to 300 Super Bowls, the Giants might get him a couple more times, but he's probably going to have 200 plus rings. And so just by taking more action, more decisive action, I think a lot of people can really move forward more quickly.
Yeah, a big thing for me personally is holding me back is my fear of failure and not wanting to look stupid in front of people I care about or things like that. And it's committing to yourself and really believing in yourself and realizing like there's never going to be a perfect time to do something. There's never a really solid reason not to do it, though. You've got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, what person do I want to be, or what do I want to live like, and start acting now. Make small steps every single day. Something I do is write down 5 things I have to do for my personal life every single day and 5 things for my business life every single day, and then write down my wins after that day, and that's something I can really commit to, and that's how I build what I'm doing right now. So
awesome. So yeah, you're writing down the wins, you're committing to action. You know that in that amount of action that you're taking, there's going to be a significant amount of losses.
Yep.
That's why it's important to do like what you just suggested. Sit down at night, in the evening sometime, or even first thing in the morning. Just write down your wins for the day. What do you have to be proud of? What do you have to be confident about? And I think that's something that everybody can use. And I think the biggest key is using all of these little tiny steps, all of these quick decisions, all of these other little motivating factors, all of the things that remind you of your big why, and use all of those little steps to keep pushing, keep moving forward, use every loss. Nobody likes taking one, but
right. Use it as a lesson, turn it into a positive. It's all about changing that perspective. So change your perspective, change your life. You hear me say that time and time again. Celebrate every victory. So
I like it. Well, I think that is just about it. We've got the L on the board. I think Colby wanted to take that today.
Yeah.
That's it for now, everybody. We do have to give a quick shout out to Sawyer Hoffman. He took that big L. What was that in high school wrestling?
Lost to Kyle Higgins back in the day. Sawyer caught the L for a little bit.
Painful. I don't know if he learned from that, but if he sees this, hopefully he will. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
Later.